Hi everyone, we are Group 10. My teammates are Ashok Kumar Kulli, Aishwarya Kulkarni, myself Aditya Nagarajan, and Kirtana Elsuri. And our project is on the Austin City housing analysis. So there are mainly two reasons why we picked this problem statement. From a business perspective, we did a lot of literature review and we came to understand that the city of Austin in Texas had the highest percentage of property price increase in the real estate market in the US last year. And from a technical point of view, machine learning models are being leveraged to understand how these house price fluctuations happen and which factors contribute to these fluctuations. So we wanted to work on this interested use case. The dataset description will be explained by Ashok.
The data set we got it from the Kaggle, and these are the screenshots of the data on how it looks like. So these are the some columns from the data set, and we have total number of total of 46 columns, 46 features, and we selected the columns which has the high correlation value, and we used the jump software for that. So these are the correlation values that we have done. And the data set we did the preliminary analysis. We selected the independent and dependent variables, and in a data coding, and in data coding means we convert the categorical variables to numeric. And in outlier analysis, we did remove the 34 rows uh, from the data set, which will improve the accuracy of the models. So we selected the four models. They are linear regression, linear SVC, logistic, and k-means. This is the metrics of the models.
And then here we have a small map visualization which we built on Tableau to understand the geographical distribution of the homes in the Austin metropolis area based on their price. These are some of the references we used, and the data visualization and SQL queries will be further explained by Kirtana.
So the first part of this project is creating different visualizations using SQL queries to understand the data better. The first query we ran was to find the total number of houses built in each city of Austin metropolis area, and we found that the maximum houses were built in the Austin city. The next bar chart we created was for the top 20 years with maximum houses built between the years 1905 to 2019. We found that 2006 year had the maximum houses built. And we also found an interesting fact that total number of houses were built more between the years 2004 to 2007, which was just before the major real estate crash and the Great Recession of 2009. The next bar chart here shows the total houses built in each and every year between the 1905 to 2019. And again, we can see that 2006 had the maximum number of houses built. The next donut chart shows here the percentage of houses built depending on their property tax, and we found that 91% of houses built had a property tax of about 1.98%. The line chart here was built to show the total number of houses depending on the total parking spaces in each and every house, and we found that maximum houses built had parking space of around 2. The next line chart here shows the total number of houses built depending on the type of house, and we found that maximum number of houses, which was around 14.24K for the single family type. The last visualization that we did here was to find the total number of houses built depending on the price range, and we found that around 5,000 houses, or you can say more than 5,000 houses, were built for the price range between 250 to 400K. The next part is the data cleaning. Till now, we worked on understanding the original data set. The next part of the project is to work on various models on the data set. To do that, we performed some data cleaning where we removed around 34 outlier rows. These rows basically were affecting the accuracies of the model. And when we removed these outliers, our accuracies of the model increased drastically from around 40% to 78%. Apart from that, we removed some columns which had low correlation values in our correlation matrix and which weren't needed for the model analysis. And any data cleaning we did, we performed it using the Excel. Now let's come to the first model we created here is the linear regression model. The major challenge that we faced with the linear regression was on the dependent variable. Initially, we tried experimenting with latest price as a dependent variable, but we found that the model wasn't good enough with R-square values low with 0.41. We then changed our dependent variable to living area square feet and found the model to be working better with R-square value of 0.78. Let's see how the model was built. So initially we selected some independent variables and the dependent variable, which is living area square feet here, from the original data frame and created a new data set. We converted the columns with double values into integer values, and then we split the data set into test and train with 70% data in train and 30% in test. You can see a small sample of the data here. We then created the vector assembler having all our independent variables, which with an output column having features. And we then created an object for the linear regression model with the label column as living area square feet, which was a dependent variable. And we created a pipeline which had all the stages having the assembler and linear model object. We then trained the model and predicted our output on the test data set. We then continued to evaluate on the metric on the model and found the R-square value to be 0.78. Now the next two models, which are linear SPC and logistic, will be explained by Aishwarya.
Thank you, Kirtana. Now we are moving towards the model which predict categorical variables. Here we have used has association as a dependent variable. The reason why we have chosen this variable is it has two variables, 1 and 0, which are usually required by the categorical models to predict. Additionally, it also had an even spread across the whole data set and has a high correlation. The following SQL query shows the distribution of has association using ones and zeros. In this, we have selected 24 independent and 1 dependent variable for the linear SVM. Then we have converted the features that are having double values into integers. Then further, we splitted the data as 70% train and 30% test. We created vector assembler with the independent variables and then created a model and then further continued to create the pipeline. And finally, we trained the model accordingly. After the prediction of labels on the test data set, we could see that the accuracy is about 78%. Which states that 78% of variance in the dependent variable is being predicted by the independent variable. Below is also our accuracy matrix. Now moving towards our next model, and that is logistic regression. We have used the following as our combination of the dependent and independent variables again. Again, we have used the same procedure of converting into the integers, splitting the data set into train and test, creating vector assembler with the independent variables, creating pipelines, and then finally training the model. On prediction, we can see that the area under curve and accuracy is almost 84%. We have also found out the confusion matrix for the same thing. Following is a confusion matrix. Now I hand it over to Adityan for the further model experiment.
Thank you, Aishwarya. The final model that we ran is the k-means clustering. So here we try to understand the effect of three major variables, which are the number of bathrooms, the number of bedrooms, and the living area in square feet of the house, and how much it affects the price of the house. So first we did an elbow curve analysis to understand which k value subject to experimentation has the least cost, and we found that a k value of 8 is ideal for analysis. So we built a model for a k value of 8, and based on the output of the centroids of the clusters, we have two main things to conclude as business references, business conclusions and recommendations. If we observe the cluster value of 1 and 8, we can say that a house which has 2 bathrooms and 3 bedrooms will cost around 250k if it has a living area of roughly 1600 square feet. Whereas the same house, if it has a living area of around 2000 square feet, it's going to cost about 400k. The second major part of the analysis is when we look at the median number of the cluster centroids, which is the 7th one at 845k, we can infer that if a house costs on average 850K, then there is a certain level of expectation that it is going to have 3 bathrooms, 4 bedrooms, and a living area of 3000 square feet. Thank you.